Well, you may be wondering, why is this tall, handsome, funny-looking guy laughing? Well, let me tell you, laughing is the best medicine. On a show of hands, let me ask you, who has laughed today? Okay, great. Well, for those who did laugh, I am so happy for you guys. And for those who didn't, I'm sorry, I just feel bad you're missing out on all the fun. Let me present you this quote by Alan Cohen. The surest signs of enlightenment are joy and laughter. Growing up, I used humor in all the situations I was in. I made jokes around friends, around family, at school, and even when I was alone. I really love to make people laugh and make them have a good time around me. And the reason behind this is that laughing and making people laugh makes me feel as if I'm floating or drowning because I don't know how to swim. And a happiness I have never experienced in another situation, as if I was Chandler Bing. Can I be any funnier? Enlightenment. But not an 18th century enlightenment. Instead, it's a philosophical and spiritual enlightenment still looked for in wisdom traditions, such as Buddhism. It's the enlightenment of the gaining of insight and awakening the true nature of reality, a concept still adhered to by billions and billions of people over the millennia. Enlightenment is not based on ordinary knowledge or intellect, nor necessarily associated with visions or supernatural experiences. Rather, it's the wisdom of a higher life without earthly attachments. Enlightenment's doctrines includes avoiding desires, possessions, and attachments. It helps you cultivate gratitude and see the world as it is. In other words, living in the present moment. Enlightenment also helps you see the connection of things and worldly paradoxes, such as good and evil, saved and damned, conviction and doubt. It's the kind of enlightenment similar to Zen, relaxation. There are two types of enlightenment. The Apollonian manifestation that is reached through hard studies, prayer, meditation, etc., that I would leave to my father since he's a priest. And the Dionysian manifestation that consists of the product of a joke or a prank and is characterized by laughter that I would be developing because I'm funnier. Laughter is a universal human experience that transcends linguistic and cultural barriers. Laughter is a fundamental aspect of the human communication. And research has shown that people from different cultures tend to laugh at the same things, even if they don't share a common language. When I was a kid, I loved to make people laugh. One time, my relatives who moved to Ireland in the Lebanese Civil War came to visit. Well, I wasn't able to speak proper English and surely not Irish because I was 8. Well, I tried my best by doing all sorts of things and eventually it worked out and they gave me a $50 bill as a goodbye gift. So, humor helps you see humor's causes and physical reactions. So, humor enlightens. The twist to the theory is this. Enlightenment, with all its smiles and laughs, is the natural state of a person without earthly attachment. So, humor restores a person to his or her natural state rather than elevating him to a different state. Enlightenment is the consciousness of the true being that is otherwise submerged by a socially constructed reality. Laughter is an expression of liberation that comes from the height of existence. As discussed, humor's goal then is to detach from and leave behind the complexities and dualities. It helps you embrace a higher state of joy, understanding, and clarity. Laughter is not created, but rather revealed. Just like literary and musical works are sometimes not necessarily created, but arguably discovered. You don't create a beautiful voice, you discover it. And I discovered that mine was horrendous. So, as I was saying, humor restores a person to a natural physical and emotional state by lifting that unbearable heaviness of being. The joke releases the heaviness of social repression that keeps laughter under control. The Enlightenment theory also complements that someone hit by severe anxiety caused by threat or illness is often more open to enlightenment than someone seemingly contented, because those facing misfortunes are more prone to seeing the absurdity in false duality. So humor bans the contradictions of the daily existence. Because when you're laughing, you don't think about bad stuff, nor you think about good stuff. You just laugh. After all, resolving impossibility is a source of enlightenment. a technique of confronting people with absurd contradictions, like the sound of one hand clapping. Can anyone here clap with one hand? No? Well, I can. But that's not the point. With the humor, the contradiction is eliminated or even resolved. Often the greater the contradiction, the greater the enlightenment and the physical reaction it awakens. Because enlightenment from inconsistency mostly arises because life is filled with paradoxes into which we seek insight. So, enlightenment comes from realizing that things are not always what they seem to be. As Bergson observed, a humorist is a moralist disguised as a scientist. So, in my opinion, laughing is the best therapy. Because some people are so poor, the only thing they have is money. Your wealth is not measured by any currency, but in the priceless joy you share with others. So, why cry when you can laugh? You go enjoy your trip to Italy, I'll be having fun at home. Thank you.